So back in the Stone Age, a caveman would find a cute cave woman, point at her and say, "You're mine," and then throw her over his shoulder and take her back to his cave to live happily ever after. That is, until a dinosaur came around and ended their entire existence. A lot of time has passed since then, and it's safe to say the world of dating is in the most complicated place it's ever been. In my opinion, there are more narcissists, sociopaths, and overall weirdos currently than ever before, and I completely blame social media for this phenomenon. Because social media has taken people's brains hostage, like a hijacked plane ready to melt some steel beams. Many individuals have it in their head that their life is something to be put into a presentation for others, which can be a very slippery slope for certain people, as they start doing things just for the sake of posting it online. Have you ever heard of keeping up with the Joneses? Back in the 50s, this was a term for the person who looked to their left and looked to their right and were jealous of what their neighbors had or did, so they'd do things to keep up with the Joneses. This is what's happening now, but it's every time they log into Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, these people are comparing themselves to others. This has many individuals all screwed up, making the possibility of going on a date with an axe murderer much higher. And don't get me wrong, if you want to find love or you want to get laid, I still do think it's very easy to accomplish because you never have to leave your room and you can make it happen. Long gone are the days of having to have any sort of game in person. Cold call approaching women at the bar or library or Costco is pretty much a dead art form at this point. All you have to do is pick up the phone and start swiping on the hundreds of dating apps available and you will find success. And if that's not your thing, you just slide right into the DMs and try and get that in real life action. That's what happened in today's story, where a girl on TikTok went off after a Tinder date refused to pay for her drink at the bar.
I'm gonna take a second to go ahead and talk about something that just happened to me because literally I fucking cannot. Let me put my shades on to try to hide the disdain. I went out on a casual little get to meet and greet with this dude who we have both canceled on each other multiple times. We go to a local little bar thing and, he orders 2 drinks, I order 1.
So from the start, this woman had her feelings hurt. She's coming out bold, ready to profess the fact that she is offended in this situation. I personally think a trip to the bar is a horrible idea for the first date, and I kind of like to avoid alcohol altogether the first time I meet someone, but maybe that's just me. I'm not saying I'll wine and dine the first date at some fancy restaurant, but maybe we'll go for some street tacos, a pizza, or something like that. Also, there's just something about the way she described this date as a little meet and greet that tells me everything I need to know about this woman right off the bat.
Casual little get to meet and greet with this dude.
It really just rubbed me the wrong way. And this is where things really start to get interesting.
He's like, let's go eat. I'm like, sounds great. Cool, we'll go eat. I asked for the checks and he's like, yeah, the checks. And I'm like, okay. He proceeds to pay with his bill in cash and I pay mine, with my card. We walk out and this man, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna go. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, no, not for me. The fuck I look like? You got me fucked up. This man then proceeds to call me on my way home as I'm complaining to my homegirl about what a fucking horrible idea this was. And he's like, what was it? And I was like, bro, it's the checks things. And he's like, well, I don't owe you anything. And this is not how I wanted to meet. Excuse me?
So let me get this straight for anyone confused. 2 people met online and they decided to go and get a couple of drinks at the bar. And when it came time to pay, she asked for the checks, plural, first, not him. I guess in her mind, this was some sort of first date test. And when our boy decided not to simp, it really caught her off guard, and that shock eventually turned to anger as she drove down the street in her Jeep. She thinks just because she has the Kylie Jenner lip kit that everyone should bow down in her presence and kiss her feet. And when this dude wasn't really feeling her, her jaw must have dropped to the floor with a hint of surprised Pikachu face. I personally think whoever initiates the date should be prepared to pay, but also both parties should be prepared to pay for themselves at all times. And it does sound like this was a mutual interest date. And at the end of the day, you were an adult throwing a fit over a $10 martini on TikTok. that is more shallow than a kiddie pool. In my opinion, she should have just taken her L and moved on, but no, she had to call her friend. She had to post this story up thinking people would actually agree with her. And the guy is not some prick for not paying for you. He probably just wasn't feeling the date, and that's perfectly alright. Y'all never have to see each other again, the problem is solved. And I get that dating is not easy, but certain people really do go out of their way to display why they're still single and looking. But let me know what you guys think about this situation down below. Do you think the guy should have paid? Do you think she should kick rocks? I want to know down below in the comments. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching and subscribing today. Thank you guys for all the support on the recent videos. Make sure you share this one with a friend. As always, there's some other psychos out here that need to get covered, so it's been your boy the Tan Superman, and I'm out. Peace!